which is giving these children a bed, something that can be theirs. And so that is why we wanted to make sure that these children could get the beds and that we could make the beds ourselves and not just have someone else make them, because we wanted to be able to be a part in trying to help them with getting through the trauma that they have. And although these positive childhood experiences can't stop these negative things from happening, it can help them to aid in their self-healing and get the help that they need. So how to get involved with the Gemini Bed Project. It is a great project, and we think that anyone in this room can contribute in some way, and they are open to any type of volunteer or anyone who wants to donate or go in. They have a warehouse. You can go and make beds. So you can reach out through Facebook at the Gemini Bed Project. You can go to St. Joseph Catholic Church. They have a lot of connections there, or the West Virginia Department of Human Resources. So thank you all so much for listening to our project. We really appreciate it.
I think just to close, our project showed both me and Caroline that just with a small idea, we can turn that into something that can impact our community in such a big way. Thank you. Are there any questions? Sorry, I didn't work. Yes.
How were you linked with the foster care system and finding placement for the bed and so forth?
So they actually had a connection through the Catholic Charities. There was a woman who was actually getting her children back from the foster care system but didn't have beds for them. And so that's where our beds are going.
It's through the Gemini Bed Project.
Yes, they make the connection.
That's where we have the connection.
So that, and is that just a local
Yes.
program, the Gemini Bed? Is it, I mean, when I say local, is it West Virginia? Is it Kettle County? Or?
It's West Virginia. They do things mostly local in Huntington because there's a big need for it just here in Huntington.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
We'll begin our next group of presenters. Dylan Abbott is involved in many academic groups at Huntington High School and outside of the honors program, including Spanish Honorary, National Honor Society, and Mu Alpha Theta. She's in the top 10% of her class and has maintained above a 4.0 GPA. Dylan will be attending Marshall University in the fall to study biology in the hopes of continuing towards a degree in forensic science. Jaela Hawkins is a member of Honors Program, National Honor Society, and the Health Science Technology Academy. She is ranked in the top 10% of her class and has been involved in extracurriculars such as track and field and cheerleading. In the fall, Jaela will attend Florida International University for Business. And Carolyne Nguyen is president of Multicultural Club and Spanish Honorary, and often volunteers at the community's local Facing Hunger food bank. This coming fall, Carolyne will be attending Brown University with a concentration in molecular biology and biochemistry, along with studies in anthropology and the Spanish language. These childhood best friends have completed their senior capstone project exploring genetic and environmental factors on cognitive development. They have worked to raise funds for the YMCA daycare to give back to their community where they first met over a decade ago.
Learn, grow, thrive. This is the motto of the Phil Klein Family YMCA Daycare and the accompanying idea of our senior capstone project. As we prepare to venture on separate paths, we dedicate our project to the place that gave us invaluable memories throughout a decade, fostered our cognitive development, and brought us together. Today we will explore early cognitive development with a molecular explanation of rapid stimuli absorption by children, socio-environmental effects of development, and the benefits of daycare. Additionally, our project consists of a fundraising component that we conducted to buy new toys for the daycare under our mentors who were the same directors that we grew up there, Wendy, Terry, and Misty Myers. The photo in the middle is of me. It's dated July 30th, 2009. This would have been my 45th birthday. I started going there when I was 3 years old. I remember my first day there. When I started going there, I was 3 years old, and I actually didn't know English yet. Vietnamese is my first language. So my first day, I remember going in there. I brought a photo of myself. I was just walking in hiding behind my mom's legs. I walked in. I was waving this photo to everybody that would look at me. I would just smile, I'd nod and I would smile. And I remember being thirsty. So I was like sticking out my tongue. I was like, oh my God, I'm so thirsty, and then I could see like the recognition in their eyes. I was like, oh, okay, I understand. So I was like, I wanted grape juice. I remember I really wanted grape juice. I was like, oh my God, I want to get grape juice. So we started walking, and you can imagine my disappointment when they brought me to the water fountain. Just being in this environment for a few months, actually, I remember just listening to kids speaking English. I remember my teachers would let me look at little cereal boxes or newspaper clippings, and in just a matter of months, I started to pick up English.
So I started going to the YMCA in kindergarten, and that's where me and Caroline actually met. So our friendship has been over 11 years now, and we just kind of hit it off. And we went to different elementary schools. She went to Southside, I went to Spring Hill, but we obviously stayed super close just because of how the YMCA affected us and how we were able to interact with the kids.
Dylan and Caroline were my first friends ever in West Virginia. It was the first place I ever actually went. I moved to West Virginia in 2015, right after elementary school. I didn't know anyone, so I was put in the YMCA for a summer, where I met them. I remember my first day I was there, and I see Caroline and Dylan walk in. I thought they were the coolest people. Caroline had on some watermelon shorts and a pineapple shirt. I thought it was so cool and cute. And we became friends, and it turns out we ended up going to the same middle school together. And of course, we still talked, and they were the first people I knew and my first friends, and we have stayed friends continuously. And they're just super smart people, so I feel like because of them, I've also learned a lot, and kind of branch from that.
Okay, so part of our Learn Number 5, we're going to head into our research component of our project, starting with Learn. Specifically, we're going to focus on two important neurological processes of early cognitive development, specifically neurogenesis, which is the formation of new neurons, and synaptic pruning. So neurons are cells responsible for sending and receiving electrical messages to and from the brain, and its structure is comprised of dendrites to receive information down to the cell body, and the axon to send information to cross through. You can see the synapse right there, which is the junction or gap where neurotransmitters cross to be bound by the dendrites receptors, because neurons never physically touch when they send information. And synapses greatly contribute to the connectivity and efficiency of networks that support learning, memory, and cognitive abilities. Continuing on in early cognitive development, rapid neurogenesis is actually occurring. At 3 years old, the neuron volume is already at 80% of the adult volume. So making children incredibly efficient at absorbing stimuli. Also contributing to this efficiency, which is really interesting, the brain is actually producing twice as many synapses as the adult brain has, so they're producing them in excess. Knowing this, it's not really hard to believe that I was able to pick up English so quickly as a child. However, because these synapses are produced in excess, they will be terminated due to inactivity, which is a process called synaptic pruning. Because of the surpluses in synapses at this point and potential for rapid neurological connections, the child's environment is incredibly crucial and important at this stage, because the more increased stimulation and sufficient stimulation a child gets, the stronger these synapses will be and the less likely they will be to be pruned. So, and also at this stage, a child can most effectively and efficiently absorb information because synaptic pruning has not yet occurred, but it will. It's normal for it to occur, but with stimulation, they're less likely to terminate usable synapses. So if they're not terminated, it will result in stronger cognitive abilities. You can go to the next one. A similar process that explains and highlights the effects of environmental stimuli on molecular processes is neuroplasticity, which is a term defined by the brain's ability to grow and adapt as a response to environmental stimuli. In an article published by the Journal of the Canadian Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry regarding neuroplasticity in the developing brain, the authors say that there are 8 identifiable principles of neuroplasticity, one being sensory stimuli, which Dylan and Jaela are going to be focusing on later today. And to wrap up my learn portion, I have a quote from the article's conclusion. The development of the brain reflects more than the simple unfolding of a genetic blueprint, but rather reflects a complex dance of genetic and experiential factors that shape the emerging brain.
There are many exceptional environments for children to interact with others. However, the best opportunities from learning social interaction is through open-ended play. Daycares can benefit children by providing these opportunities for play, for choosing and making friends, and communicating with adults. It is a structured and supervised environment. While it may be more laid back than traditional school, it follows a schedule that involves snack time, engaged learning, and playtime. In research done by Candace Education, consistent play and socialization for children in daycare have been associated with high levels of empathy, resilience, and more. Children learn to value and respect others through the building of community. Daycares teach not only to engage with others, but to work together, collaborate, problem solve, and truly value their friendship with others. Play is a big part of how children connect with others and make friends. Friends prevent isolation and loneliness and give you a chance to offer needed companionship and increase sense of belonging.
Okay, so finally I had the Thrive portion of our research. As opposed to children sitting at home, possibly watching their television or playing on a tablet, daycare provides the stimulation necessary for children to really thrive within their environment. Playing with toys and their other peers is the most crucial part in promoting cognitive development, as Caroline discussed. When children play, they discover the answers to their own questions, a process necessary for even adults to thrive within this world. In an article written by the Center of Inclusive Childcare, they state that the most important type of play is organized play, and the 3 most important parts being art play, dramatic play, and musical play, all of which were offered by the YMCA. Starting with art play, during the summer on like Tuesdays, they would have a lady from the Huntington Museum of Art come and teach us a craft, which I don't know, I mean, most of you guys are parents, so you know dealing with children and crafts is hard, so thank you to her. And then we had dramatic play, which the YMCA is connected to the gym. The daycare is connected to like the facilities. So they would take us over there to play, and look at us, were we gonna play basketball? So we had to come up with our own ideas and our own games. We would bring little toys called Shopkins. They were like figures of groceries and foods. I don't really know. And then we had musical play, which is more towards the preschool, as like Bill is on there. I know you guys probably hated those, but those are very crucial.
Do you remember when in the gym we were pretending to be spies and you walked under the basketball hoop and got hit by a basketball?
I did get hit by a basketball, and it did break my glasses, and I was terrified that my mom was going to be mad at me. And she was not. I was just so upset. I had to be a spy. So, child development occurs across several domains, these being fine motor, gross motor, emotional, and cognitive development. Within these toys, certain toys help in different domains. Obviously at the daycare we were provided with toys, but they were very well loved, so our group wanted to provide new toys to the people there now. Engagement and sensory play is known to be the foundation for all new skills children are learning, including reading, writing, and solving math problems. It comes in many different forms, but all of which stimulate one of the 5 senses. So as I just talked about, sensory is the most important during your first year of life. And then your second is mobile play, so it's pushing things, it's walking, it's babies love to push like baby strollers, stuff like that. And then after those 2 years are over, physical and cognitive skill building become the most important for children, as they promote active children and help strengthen kids' abilities to exist as independent people. This is what we were mainly asked to provide by the YMCA. But how did our project begin?
Okay, so I was the one to initially go to speak to Wendy, who was our director there, and she was still there. So after, I get really anxious on the phone, and like, she wasn't picking up because like it's pretty busy there. I remember when I was little, they would just let the phone ring anyways. So, I decided to just like, I live pretty close, so I decided to just drive there myself. So I remember I drove and I parked into the same parking lot that my mom used to drive me when I was younger. When I was too young to sit in the front seat, I sat in the back seat. But sorry. Now I was in the front seat driving. Sorry. I walked to the front door where you have to press a button to get buzzed in, and I remember when I was little I would have to squat and use all my potential energy to jump to hit that button, but now I could just stand and press that button. Once I was let in, I walked the hall to the lockers to the front desk, and the lockers were a lot smaller than I remembered. In fact, everything was a lot smaller than I remembered. When I rounded the corner, my face was immediately recognized by those that took care of me when I was younger, when my parents were working. And I was met with exclamation and embrace. When I told them about our ideas and our project, I had their full support, and I was given a tour of the center again. And our mentor, Wendy, made a comment that has lingered with me. She said, "Not much has changed, but you surely have."
So to begin our project, we obviously wanted to raise funds for toys, as I had mentioned. So as Caroline and Elli said, social media was a really important part of their project, and ours as well. I did Facebook as well, and I asked my mom to post it on Facebook because she's got all the friends. And so we actually raised over $750 to buy these toys. And this is a screen cap of our GoFundMe that I had posted on Facebook, and some donors. Thank you to anyone who donated if you're here. So then we went shopping. We went to Five Below, we went to Walmart, we went to Target, and we just picked out anything we thought kids would like. We thought back and we're like, well, what did we want when we were there, and got that. So the top picture is the back of my car completely full, and the bottom picture is the back of Caroline's car completely full as well. And a huge receipt that only spent about $200 of our money.
This is the reveal. We went this past Tuesday on Election Day, and we walked in. The kids weren't there because they were at the park, and they were getting ready to bring them back to see all these toys. And when they came, they were just ecstatic. They were so happy, and they're like, "Is this for us?" Like, they were just super happy. And we took a big picture with them with all the toys laid out. They were super excited.
And this kid right here with the airplanes, he actually said, "Please pinch me if I'm dreaming." And he gave all three of us a hug, and he was just so excited. They were all like, "Are these really for us? Like, they wanted to know if they could keep them. They can keep them at the daycare, but they can't take them home." But they were all just super excited. Yeah.
The process of purchasing carts full of toys and seeing the excitement on these kids' faces was incredibly rewarding for us. For us to be able to see the project come into a fruition with tangible items to speak with it.
It was also as if we were fulfilling our own childhood desires, picking out all the toys we would have wanted. While these toys were not enough for us, we thought about what our younger selves would have loved and benefited from. Many of the toys and games were titles familiar to us, and it brought back a sense of nostalgia in all of us.
While we were now graduating seniors, as we walked the aisles of Five Below, Target, and Walmart, we were together, completing our final senior capstone project, reminiscing on our childhood memories at the place that fostered and introduced us as best friends, the Phil Klein YMCA Family Daycare Center.
Thank you. You guys have any questions?
Well, nobody else will ask questions, so. As with the first presentation too, it's just so wonderful to see the young people giving back to their community. And I happen to be on the Y board, and I think this is amazing. And I don't know if that's a presentation or PowerPoint, if that's something you might be willing to share with the director. I think the Y strives to have that community connection, and of course, the education